Well, it's a meeting of the world's 5 fastest growing economies. They've come to be known as the Brics. That is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And they just wrapped up their annual summit in New Delhi. The alliance is proving to be a force to be reckoned with. They make up 42% of the world's population, a quarter of its landmass, and a GDP that is expected to surpass that of the U.S. in just 3 years. And with their growing influence on the world economic stage, they want to have more of a say in world economic affairs. And it looks like they're taking matters into their own hands. RT's Priya Sridhar has been following the summit and brings us the latest from New Delhi.
That's right, Liz. Today was the 4th annual BRICS summit here in New Delhi. Leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and the newest members to the BRICS group, South Africa, all met here in Delhi today. Basically, these are the world's emerging economies, the leading world emerging economies, and they have an economic partnership. And they discussed many things today, including the possibility of an alternative to the Western-led financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Basically, what was discussed today was the idea of a development bank, which would be a joint BRICS bank. There was also an agreement that was signed today between the 5 countries to give out loans in their national currencies. And this is a big deal because many people are saying that this is a sign that these countries could be moving away from the dollar as the global reserve currency and perhaps looking at a BRICS basket currency. Earlier this year, the BRICS countries actually discussed even bailing out Europe from its financial crisis. So what you're really seeing here, Liz, is a move away, a shift away from the West. And these countries, because of their growing economic clout, they make up 40% of the world's population. And in the next 8 years, analysts are predicting that they're going to make up 50% of global GDP. So basically they're saying, hey, we're important and we're going to come up with new solutions and new ideas when it comes to global economic institutions.
Now, Priya, what prompted these countries to get together is the fact that they are the 5 fastest growing economies in the world, but they also did discuss politics at this summit, Priya. Do you see this becoming a political partnership as well as an economic partnership?
That's an excellent point, Liz, and we are seeing that. These countries are basically saying that because they have a growing economy, they don't have to listen to the West when it comes to major world issues like what's going on in Syria. Actually, Russian President Dmitry Medvedev had a bilateral meeting with Chinese President Hu Jintao and India's Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. And one of the things that they all discussed was intervention in Syria. Basically, all of these countries are backing Kofi Annan's plan for a ceasefire. They want peace in Syria, but both Russia and China have repeatedly said that they don't want President Assad to step down, and they actually voted against that first UN Security Council resolution on Syria. Iran was another topic that many of these countries discussed today. Both India and China are saying that they don't, and Russia as well, by the way, saying that they are not interested in sanctions on Iran. They don't think that that's going to accomplish anything. So all of these leaders really reiterated in all of their meetings today and in all of their statements that intervention isn't going to work. Putting pressure, this Western-led oil embargo on Iran is not going to be effective. So they're really starting to take a stand on political issues as well.
Now, since these economies are growing much faster than that of the U.S. and much faster than Europe, they want to have a bigger say in global financial affairs. Do you think they'll achieve that?
Absolutely, Liz. You know, as I mentioned earlier, a few of the big talks here was about the possibility of a joint Brics bank, a development bank that could serve as an alternative to the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. You're also seeing this discussion of a possible alternative to the dollar. There's obviously this Eurozone crisis that's going on in the world, and these countries are trying to figure out ways for them to do business amongst each other and increase trade amongst each other. There was also that agreement that was signed, as I mentioned before, that would allow loans to take place between these 5 countries in their national currency, which is another symbolic move away from the way that things have always been working in the past, I guess you could say. So really lots of energy here in New Delhi. The meetings are just wrapping up, and actually everyone's really looking forward to seeing a lot of these plans come into action in next year's BRICS Summit, the 5th annual BRICS Summit 2013 in South Africa.
All right, Priya, thank you so much for keeping us updated over there. That was RT correspondent Priya Sridhar.